I'm making this video to get the attention of business owners, entrepreneurs, people who are in sales, trying to build something here. This isn't a tutorial. I hope this is a wake-up call. So before I teach you how to sell or how to build your offer or how to fill up your pipeline, I have to tell you the myth, the lies that I believed early on that nearly destroyed everything for me. This isn't about how to make your first million. This is about how to not lose yourself in the stuff that matters to you while you're going for it. The first myth I believed was that more opportunities equaled more success. The opportunities are the things that could lead to success. That's kind of the way I was seeing it, but those opportunities aren't always an invitation. Many times they're a distraction from the direction that you should be going. I was in the Navy, and this is about 2009, and I had started a little lawn care kind of side hustle, and I got this gig cutting grass for Blockbuster Video on the weekends. One day, I got the call that all the entrepreneurs dream of. This lady wanted a flagstone patio. So I got super excited, man. That's big money, right? Big job, big dollars. And I said, yeah, of course I'll do it, Honestly, it turned out pretty good. I think it looked pretty good for a couple days. And then we had this big rainstorm and it just washed the stuff all out. So I went back and I did the right thing. I tried to fix it, didn't charge her. And I made it worse, man. I just made it worse. And her husband called a meeting, real intense guy. Matter of fact, he was the air boss on the USS Enterprise, which if you don't know what that is in the Navy, you ever seen that movie Top Gun, right? Where Maverick flies by the tower and the dude's drinking the coffee, he spills it all over himself, starts cursing. It's that dude. So I'm talking to that dude and he looks me square in the eye with his wife standing right there and he goes, "You did a terrible job and I'm not paying you." And I stood back and the guy wasn't used to that. And I said, "Fair enough." And I walked away because he was right. I was just going for something bigger than what I'm doing now. There's no end to that. See, this wasn't a generalist versus specialist kind of issue. This was an identity issue that I had. I was chasing every open door as if it was going to be the thing that led to my breakthrough. And see, it wasn't just one job I did this on. I did this for like a decade. So let me be really real with you here. Chasing every opportunity is not strategy. It's fear. It's fear that if you miss out on this thing right here, you're not going to get where you think you need to be. It's fear that if you specialize, you'll miss out. But see, what if the next level is not about doing more things and then calling it growth? What if it's about doing less things better? So let's talk about myth number 2. And that is, if I get better, the business will get bigger. Mastering your skill does not build a business. It just makes you really good at something. See, I spent years building my skill. After that flagstone patio lady, man, I never wanted that to happen again. And that's great. But there was one problem. The business wasn't growing. See, my skills were leveling up. My employees could do great things. But the bottom line wasn't moving. I guess I somehow thought that if we were better, somehow the profit would follow. But that's not how business works. I fell for that because I wasn't about building a better business. I thought I was. I was just building a better me. See, I thought I was leveling up. I kept thinking, like, if I could just be a little bit better, then we're going to grow more. But see, the better I got, the more trapped I was. Now I just had something bigger that was still holding me captive. I was just the guy with 1,000 helpers. Hey, man, can you help me with this? Help me with that patio. Help me with that excavator. Help me do this. Help me do that. I wasn't out of the picture like I needed to be. I was building myself up into this like Superman thing. And hustle culture glorifies that. You got to watch out. It's talking about you need more of this, you need more of that. And it's just like stacking things on your shoulders. But that doesn't build a business. Getting better is great. Excellence, you got to have it. It matters. It really matters. But it doesn't scale. That's not what makes a business grow. You need the infrastructure. You need the strategy. You need the pricing strategy. You need to know your numbers. There's a lot of things that you need to have. That's all the stuff that builds businesses. So you need a way to deliver your excellence without exhausting your resources and yourself. Skill development is internal, but business development is external. It's outside of you. And you got to have both, or you'll be excellent, but broke. Here's the truth. You can be world class at what you do, but never build anything that outlives you. And I paid for that obsession, not just in lost revenue, but in stress, man, in lost time. Here's what I had to learn. My skill is the product. Our company's skill is the product, but the business is the engine. And if the engine doesn't run, it doesn't matter how good that product is because it can't get it to anybody. If you're constantly learning, but never leveraging what you learn, you're not an entrepreneur. So if you want to scale, you got to shift your focus from getting better to getting organized, from personal growth to business strategy, infrastructure, systems, from craftsman to a business builder. Those are two totally different jobs. And I'm telling you right now, I didn't know what I signed up for. And you're bunch of you probably shaking your heads right now. Like, yeah, I had no idea what I signed up for. So then we just rely on grit to keep on going, right? Big mistake, man. It's hard to change the tire on the car when it's driving down the road. Do these things early, man. Fix this stuff early. Get structured. I don't know how to get structured. Figure it out. Don't keep going. Don't keep like chasing the opportunities. Don't keep trying to expand yourself until you get those things figured out. I promise you right now. Other people are going to tell you that what I'm saying isn't right. You can do it. Well, maybe they just haven't beat their heads up against the wall enough times because it sucks. It's really, really, really hard. And it makes you find the end of yourself, and it doesn't always turn out like these pretty success stories that you see all over social media and YouTube. We always see the shiny stuff, but you don't see this, right? You don't see negative bank accounts. You don't see me telling my daughters, "Hey, no, I can't sign you up for that right now," right? You don't see, gosh, we can't afford insurance. How much will we get fined if we don't have insurance? Like those kind of conversations, right? You don't see that, but that's what I'm talking about. See, that's the price when you build yourself, but don't build a business. Lie number 3, I thought that if my customers rejected the job, rejected the price, that they were rejecting me. And I know it can sound pretty foolish, but if you don't know your worth, I'm talking about identity level stuff, then every no you get is going to feel like a judgment against you. And I know you know what I'm talking about. And like this one's kind of hard to admit, but it's real. For a long time, I didn't just put a price on our services. It was like I put the price on myself. Back to that first sales meeting with the Flagstone patio lady. How could I have a product or service, man? All I was selling was my own ability to deliver on whatever I said to her. So yeah, it was personal. I was selling me. I mean, she's like, "You ever done this before? It's going to be great." How do I know that? The only thing I got to go off of is my commitment. So yeah, it got real personal. And that's not healthy, man. That's not even business. That's broken identity. That's insecurity. I remember dreading sending out estimates. And it wasn't because I didn't want the job, It was because I could not handle the emotional roller coaster I would go on when I'd get pushback from a customer. I didn't know how to separate my value from my offer. So here's what you need to know. Your price is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of what the market is willing to exchange for a solution. And even if you are the product, like I thought that I was, maybe you're a consultant, a realtor, people want the person to help, but that doesn't mean you're the product. You have a product to deliver, but you're just the conduit to get it there. Here's the truth. Some people will pay $1,000 to hear you speak for 5 minutes. Other people wouldn't listen to you for free, but neither one of those defines your worth, because this can go both ways. Somebody keeps paying you a bunch of money, you start thinking, dang, I'm worth something. No, your product is, but you have worth regardless. Your identity can get tangled up with that. And then what happens when you have a bad day? What, now you're not worth it all of a sudden? That's the trap. And it goes both ways. It's not just about like when they say no, they're rejecting me. No. When they all say yes, they're accepting me. Big mistake. Business is personal, but it can't be emotional. And if your identity is, and your worth, your value is attached to your pricing, your product, your company, then you're either going to collapse under the pressure or you're going to compromise because of the fear. So that mindset kept me stuck. I basically just priced stuff to the point that I could feel good about. I couldn't bring myself to cushion that thing at all, to give us some flexibility. I gave it all away, gave it all to the customers. And what ended up happening is, I guess I just believed in my own ability to get through stuff, and that fed that need to just be better. Thought I was doing my customers a favor, but I was killing myself and I was killing my own company. I even told myself, the criticism, the bad reviews, man, those are just haters. And when I needed to pivot, change directions, offer a different product or stop offering a product, I was too proud. I was too invested, and I stayed broke. And it wasn't because any of us lacked talent. It's because I was just, I never untangled my value with my product. So here's the shift that you need to make. Your price, it's just a number, honest. But your value, that's just based on truth. Learn to listen to feedback without making it personal. Rejection in business is not a rejection of you. It's just like a no to that offer at that time from that person. That's it. And if you can detach your outcome from your identity, man, you're going to have so much more confidence going into a sales meeting. There's no hacks to get confidence. You got to divorce from your business, divorce from all the potential outcomes. Well, what if this? What if that? What if this happens? And what if they say that? And how do I respond there? Like, sure, there's training for that, but it's not supposed to get a hold of you. You are not your price tag. You are not your product. You are not your close rate. You are a business builder. You're a solution bringer. And if you sell from that place, no is going to stop bothering you. You're going to be able to go right on past it and continue helping that customer and all the rest of them. Don't let it break you. Myth number 4, debt will make me grow faster. Now I'm going to tell you straight up, debt does not create growth. It will multiply whatever you got going on. So I'm not here to bash debt, but I am here to warn you because I used debt as a I don't know, like a shortcut to success, but not actually growing my business. See? And all that did was accelerate my dysfunction. I took out loans. I took money from investors. My dad gave me $100,000. Come on, man. Talking about this stuff still puts a knot in my stomach. Because first off, I don't have a Lambo, okay? I don't have a mega success story. I've figured a lot of this stuff out and gotten past it. But, you don't really, do you know what it feels like to owe your dad $100,000? I love my dad. Got a lot of years left with him. But I don't like owing him. And see, I took that money yeah, man, this is going to grow me up. This is going to take me to the next level. But here's the truth I didn't want to face, man. I wasn't using it to grow. I was inflating. See, I didn't have my pricing dialed in. I didn't have my margins figured out. My balance sheet, I'm still just trying to, what does it actually say to me? What direction is it telling me to go? I didn't even know what kind of jobs were actually profitable, man. I didn't look at that stuff. I was looking at inflating. I even used investor money just to pay off old debt. And some of you are thinking, hey, did it make you more money? No, it didn't make me more money. It didn't grow the business. It just took me from owing one person to owing another person. Why expose yourself to that much risk? It doesn't make sense in numbers. Why did I do it? Because it was money coming at me. That's why I did it. I was just digging a deeper hole with a shinier shovel. And that's why I say debt does not create the growth. It just multiplies the system you're already using. So if your business model's unclear, if your margins are too thin, if your financials are a mess, debt will make that worse, not better. Because debt adds pressure, it adds obligation, it puts speed to something that may not be ready to grow yet. So the real cost here is that the more that I borrowed, the more that I expanded. More trucks, more equipment, more assets, bigger building, but the bottom line never grew. When do you throw in the towel, man? When do you wake up from that, Like I wasn't even looking at it. I was doing more, but I wasn't making more. With every step forward, I was just stepping deeper into liabilities. And here's what did it for me. Guess what? When COVID hit, I couldn't pivot. I was so off balance from the right hook that COVID hit that even though I took all the free money in the handout, but none of it made a difference, I couldn't pivot in time. See, that's when I realized, oh man, I wasn't actually growing here. I thought that debt meant I was all in, man. I was willing to put it on the line and take the risk to expand and grow. And yeah, that's part of business. But really, I just didn't know what I was doing. And I wanted to grow anyway. Debt does not solve unclear vision. It just temporarily funds it. You got to build a profit first model before you multiply, because if you don't, what you're going to scale is your dysfunction, and it's going to be a complete mess, man. You got to get your own house in order. Then if you do use debt, it'll be a lever, not a leash. Now, myth number 5, success will heal what's broken in me. Your business cannot carry your identity. This happens to so many entrepreneurs, man. The guys that I coach now, they're way too connected. Your business cannot carry your identity. It'll collapse under the weight. This is the one that nobody talks about. It's like, but it's really the one that a lot of us are running on. It's this myth that the success will finally fix the ache. If the bank account fills up, if the followers grow, if the client list grows, that'll somehow fix it for me. I believe that, and I spent years chasing that. For a long time, I lived with this constant if only kind of feeling. If only I could get that next opportunity. If only I could get to that next job. If only I was in that neighborhood. Then I'll breathe. Then I'll rest. Then I'll secure. It was always a little bit far off. It was like a carrot on a stick thing, man. But the stick was attached to me. So it didn't matter how fast I went forward. Didn't matter what I learned or grew or did. There was always something out of reach. But no matter how much I achieved, it never satisfied me because I wasn't chasing results. I was chasing validation, and success is a terrible savior. Here's what I learned, man. Your identity cannot come from revenue. It cannot come from the praise of your customers, how many 5-star reviews you got, how many followers you got. It cannot come from that. You're going to ride that emotional roller coaster until it breaks something in you. And let me tell you, it broke something in me. I had to find my identity in something outside of me, something beyond my business. And for me, it was my relationship with God. Now, this isn't some kind of religious talk, but I had to see myself the way God sees me through learning that as a human, as a person, I'm valuable, and so are you, just because you're alive. It has nothing to do with what you can or can't do. That changed everything for me because I stopped trying to be somebody. I wasn't going after the look, I wasn't going after the tone, the car, the level, the status, the person I got to talk to, man. None of it mattered anymore. I stopped trying to be somebody and I started trying to serve somebody. When your identity is tied to the outcome, every loss feels like a personal attack. Every slow season makes you question your worth. Every no just cuts you a little bit deeper. And man, that's the stuff that leads to anxiety, burnout, disillusionment, because you're not even building a business at that point, man. You're trying to prove something to somebody, trying to prove something to yourself. You're fighting a ghost, and you're never going to win that way. So here's the remedy. Find your identity outside of what you do. Let your business be the vehicle of your calling, not the proof of it. And when you stop trying to prove your worth, you're going to be able to build something that is going to outlast you. After chasing the wrong things for all the right reasons, I started asking a new question. What actually lasts? Skills are important, strategy matters, but what actually outlives that? And here's what I discovered. It's character. Sales techniques can close deals. Strategies bring profit. Branding can generate attention. But only character builds trust. It's character that keeps you anchored when the storm hits. It's your character that makes you the kind of person that people are going to want to follow for the long haul. And without character, your ambition just turns into an addiction. I chose to model my character after Jesus. When I lead with peace, when I sell with patience, when I bring the things of Him into my business, into every customer interaction, guess what? That's when the good stuff happens. I no longer try to get a customer to do anything for me. We arrive there together. If I win and they lose, we both lose. But if I lose and they win, we both lose. True business is win-win. And that's why I ask more questions than what I pitch. Remember that story from the beginning? I learned how to ask questions. I stumbled on it. But now I do it because I recognize what actually lasts. That's why I tell people no if it's not a good fit. That's why I'll refer people to my competitors. Man, if they do a better job, shame on me. And when you lead with that kind of character, you don't chase trust, you attract it. If you've fallen into any of these traps, look, man, there's no shame in it, but there is a way out. Myth number 1, more opportunity does not mean more success. You gotta learn to say no with what does not align with your strengths and vision. Myth number 2, getting better doesn't mean having a better business. You got to build systems, not just skill sets. Myth number 3, price cannot be attached to your identity. You got to separate your worth from your work. Number 4, debt does not mean growth. Do not multiply until you have created margin. And myth number 5, success does not mean healing. Your business is an expression of your value, not your source of it. Listen, figure out who you are first, man, then figure out what you're going to sell. Build your business up from your identity, not for your identity. Because if you don't, you're going to spend a lot of time proving something that you just don't need to prove. But if you do, you're not only going to have a great business for yourself, for your family, or even one that just outlasts you, you're going to be leading others to a better place. So if this hit you like it did me when I was all caught up in it, man, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. So remember, man, your business is what you do. It's not who you are. So go make something that's real.